Hi everyone! It's time for lesson 5, volume of the prism today. I'm so excited for this lesson. Okay, so I'm going to fill out a completed note sheet and put that in your Google Classroom. So I might not be filling in all the things on here, but we're just going to touch some basics to start out with on what a prism is. Now there's different types of prisms. You can have a rectangular prism or a triangular prism. It depends on what their bases are. So first of all, the top and the bottom of a prism are parallel, and they're called the bases. So if you look in this picture here that's blue, you can see, oh, I don't have my pen on. You can see that the bases are on the top and the bottom, and they're parallel to each other. Those are triangular in the shape, so this would be a triangular prism. Now the sides of the prism are parallelograms, and they are called the faces of the prism. The edges of the prism where the lateral faces intersect are called lateral edges. So where the parallelograms intersect, that point is going to be called the lateral edge. And they are always going to be parallel to each other. Now, sometimes your prism could be slanted, and they call that an oblique prism. For example, in this diagram here, the height is actually on the outside of the shape. That's an oblique prism. So just looking at our prisms here, there are different parts to it. We can see our bases are triangular, and our edges are on the top here around the sides of the bases. And our lateral faces are those parallelograms, and there's our lateral edges again. Again, I will be filling in this stuff on your actual completed PDF of your note sheet. Now that we know what a prism actually looks like, we're going to talk about the volume of the prism. Now, volume is different than what we've been doing with perimeter and area. Those work with 2D shapes, but we're going to be finding the volume. That involves a 3D shape. So it's the amount of space that a substance or an object occupies. Now, you need a 3D figure to have a volume, and our units this time are going to be cubed. When we're doing perimeter or area, our units are different. Perimeter is generally just to the first power. For example, like a centimeter or a liter. Oh, that would be probably a volume. But then our area, our units are squared because we're multiplying 2 dimensions together. But when we get into volume, we're going to have 3 dimensions, so our units are going to be cubed. So an example of a volume would be like how much, oh, look at this, I have something right here. How much coffee my coffee mug would hold. That could be the volume. I should figure that out later. So like how much coffee a mug could hold. Or a non-example would be like, say I needed new carpet. So it would be like the amount of carpet that would be needed to put down on the floor. That would be more of like a surface area question. Okay, volume is represented by the formula big B times H. But if we don't know what big B stands for, then we have a problem. Big B is going to be the area of our base. Now, sometimes our base is a triangle, like this example up here, and sometimes it's not going to be a triangle. It could be, oh, there's not one on the page there. It could be like this, like a square or rectangular prism. Okay, let's get some examples going. The first couple are kind of simple, so let's look at this fun one over here. Oh dear, look at this. We have a nice triangular prism. I know my volume is going to be big B times H. But the big B represents the area of the base. Now remember, the bases are the parallel ones, and I see a triangle in my picture. So that's 1/2 base times height, but I'm going to multiply that by the height of the whole prism in general. Do I have the base and height? I don't. Shoot. But I do know this is a 30, 90, so this guy has to be 60. Look how fun that is. Snuck that right in there. So across from the 90 is really 2n, so that means n is 4. N's across from 30, so this side is 4. Across from 60 is n radical 3, so that means this guy is 4 radical 3. Okay, so now I have 1/2. My base I can use as 4. My height is 4 radical 3. And then the height of the whole entire prism is the 8 on the side. So I have 1/2 of 4 times 4. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. 1/2 of that is 8. So now I have 8 radical 3 times 8, or 64 radical 3, and my units are going to be centimeters cubed because it's a volume. That was fun. So we'll skip this next one, but this one down here looks like super fun, number 5. It's got a little quadratic in it. You know how I love a good factoring problem. So on number 5, we have this like rectangular prism. Don't laugh at my drawings here. I'm awful. And it has a height of h inches. So we're going to say that's h. And a width that is 3 inches less than its height. Okay, so that would be like maybe this guy is h minus 3. And the length that is 4 inches more than its height. So h plus 4. Oh dear, I got a lot of h's going. I do know the area of the base is 60 square inches. Remember, area is big B times h. So I actually know the big B is 60, and I need to find what h is. Well, big B is actually the area of this base that's here. So if I take the h plus 4 and times it by h minus 3, it should give me that 60. Look how nice that's set up. We got a little h squared plus 4h minus 3h minus 12. I better double distribute there. So h squared plus h minus 12 is 60. Or I can move the 60 over, and now I have h squared plus h minus 72 equals 0. And I'm going to have to factor. I'm going to go down here into the chicken coop problem because, again, you can see the full version of that on your PDF of your notes. So I'm going to factor. I have to multiply to 72, but make a 1 in the middle. 9 times 8 is 72. So that means h plus 9 is 0, or h is negative 9. And h minus 8 is 0, so h is 8. Now let's think about this. Could I have a negative length? No, let's get rid of that. So that means our height is 8. Oh, guess what I just found? H is 8. 60 times 8 is 480. Wasn't that a fun math problem? That's because I've got a lot of free time to think up great problems for you to do now. All right, guys. If you want the full version of that note sheet, make sure you look at the PDF of it. And also, don't forget to try your super stimulating homework on volume of prisms. Bye for this week. See you next week. Bye-bye. Okay, I can never turn this off.